Hey guys, thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be installing a block out roller blind. Now whether it's your home or your office, you're probably wanting to block out the light, filter the light, add a splash of colour, maybe protect your furniture from those harmful UV rays, whatever it is. Stay tuned to this video. I've got 5 important tips throughout the video that you'll want to see before you take on the challenge of installing your own roller blind. Now it's an easy task, follow the steps. Let's get into it. Measure. So before we rush out and buy the blind that we think we need to determine what kind of blind install we're going to be going with. So there's 2 main ways we can do it. That style is a recessed or a top fix, and it has the blind installed inside this window reveal. The other style is a face fix. Now they each have their benefits, however face fix isn't going to work for us because we want to hang curtains over top of this as well. So we've opted to go for a recessed top fix. What we need to do is measure our window width and drop now. Measure your window from the width 1.8 and the drop 1.2. If you're doing this on your own, sometimes it's hard to get accurate measurements. So if you find some blue tack, shove it up in the corner there, and then tuck your tape measure up and behind it, and then you can get your accurate measurements. We've gone and bought the blind that we need. It's 1.8 meters wide, which is slightly wider than the window we're going to be fitting it to. So we're going to need to trim this blind down to size. What we need to do is unroll the blind so we expose this top roller. Assemble your mechanisms, your end caps and your brackets. Take our overall measurement, 1797. The window that we're putting it in is 1771, which means I'm going to need to trim 26 millimeters off. That 26 millimeters gets trimmed off this top roller. This is aluminium, so I can cut this with a hacksaw. We're also going to need to measure, mark and cut our weight at the bottom and replace the little cap. Now to do the blind, the easy way to get the fabric off the roller is just to slide it out the end. Alright, hopefully you kept up with that. I'm going to dismantle this now and trim it. If this has been helpful so far, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully you can see just here, we've cut the top roller to size. Now we're just going to mark on the blind that measurement there. Mark the back of the blind, the white side, top and bottom. Spread the blind out and draw a nice straight line between the two. Now you can either use a really sharp blade or a sharp pair of scissors. If you are going to cut with scissors, make sure you don't close the scissors completely between each cut because it seems to put a little kink or a stretch in the blind fabric. Now if you've filed off those cut ends of your roller, the blind should slide back into that track easily. And replace your end cap. Install your brackets. Before we do, just have a quick look around your window and make sure that there's nothing in the way of the blind being able to travel up and down. We're quite lucky we've just got a low profile window opening handle thing there, nothing else in the way. So what I'm going to do is put these pretty much centre. I'm pre-drilling a couple of holes into the timber here just to avoid potentially splitting the timber, and it makes the screws go in easier. So just select a drill bit smaller than the screws that you're using. Of course, this is timber. If you're going into masonry, brickwork, concrete, you're going to need to use a masonry drill and plugs. And here's a tip. When you're screwing your brackets into place, try not to let the chuck of the drill rub against the paint there, because it will rub the paint off and you'll end up with a black mark you have to paint over later. You can avoid that by using a longer, like an extension on your driver, or just angling your drill out a little bit. Just roll back up the blind now and we can attach our mechanisms at each end. Okay, super important tip. This is the chain driven end of the blind. It's important that when you install it with this little opening where the chain comes out, pointing straight at the ground. If you were to install it on its side, you'd end up with quite a noisy chain mechanism. This is the second end to be installed. I wanted to show you this. It's got a clever little mechanism that some of these blinds have. You can actually wind this way. You wind this end in, holding the blind in one hand, turning this dial in the other. It actually draws that pin all the way in. If you keep going, it pops it out again. And this is a good way of helping you to install and also remove the blind later. Install our right hand side, our chain driven end first. And then using that wheel that I showed you, here's a quick tip to keep you out of trouble. If you decide to face fix your blind, rather than attaching your brackets to the architraves, come up above the window and there'll either be a lintel or a stud just to the side of the window, which is a solid fixing for your brackets, stronger than attaching to an architrave. Final step is to install the safety chain. Now it should come with a clip like this. Just line it up with your cord so you don't have any twists. What we want to do is pull the chain down taut. Then we can relax it about 10 millimeters. Mark where that's going to be drilled. The Australian standards say that if you've got a drive chain or a cord from your blinds lower than 1.6 or 1600 millimeters from the ground, they need to be secured in a cleat, and that's to prevent it being a choking hazard to children or pets. Nice new home with aluminium window frames, don't drill into them. You're going to avoid your manufacturer's warranty. I've always thought that you couldn't screw blind brackets into the UPVC window frames, which is the unplasticized polyvinyl chloride. It's a hard plastic window frame, but apparently you can. You pilot the hole with a 3mm drill bit, put in your screws and stop before they get tight. Apparently that works. What do you know? Still, I reckon drilling into that plastic's not the best idea. If you can find some timber or some masonry nearby that you could attach your roller blinds to, would be better. The one I didn't mention was ceiling fix brackets. So a ceiling fix is normally when you've got floor to ceiling windows. You can't just drill into the plasterboard. It's not going to hold. So to get some really solid fixings in the ceiling, get a ram set hollow wall anchor. They're about $2 each and they can hold about 10 kilos. Or a spring toggle cavity fastener, which is about $1 each. Slightly smaller, slightly cheaper, but still a good product. There's lots of videos on YouTube about hollow wall anchors and masonry wall plugs, so we're not going to cover that now. If you like this video or you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more helpful DIY tips. Click the little bell to get a notification each time a new video is available. Any suggestions you want to make to the channel, or any DIY content that you want to see. Remember, this channel is all about helping you tackle those DIY jobs at home. Thanks for being there. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.